Do you feel like maybe you've been here before? There is such a thing as a deja vu, a premonition, kind of like an intuition. But I think what it really is just a old school values, morals, principles that just kind of feel out of place nowadays in this newfangled world that we got. It seems like everything is just going to a place where just good old-fashioned common sense is out of place. I mean, if you are feeling like that, then maybe, my friend, maybe, cousin, you have what I call the new old-fashioned. Are you that new old-fashioned person that remembers what it's like when you grew up, that have a grandmother influence that is still pumping through your heart and pumping through your veins? And you know that we as a nation, we as a community, we as neighborhoods are drifting farther and farther apart. And if you feel like that, well, you know what? I think that's something good that we should talk about. So come on, cousins, and let's pod about it.
In a world fraught with confusion, one man will break his silence. There was only one man for the job.
Welcome back once again to the funkiest show this side of the Pecos. Yes, you're tuned into Word to the Wise with the exclamation point. And who am I? Hey, I'm just your friendly neighborhood liaison. Yeah, just your tour guide for this journey that we call life. Yes, my name is Terry Patrick, and I come at you on every single Wednesday. And I know that I have a powerful message that I would like to bring to you guys. And if you would like to become a first cousin, we'll feel free, you guys, to go ahead and endorse and then support and just give a love offering to this program. Hey, and speaking of love, I gotta give it up to the people who love me and brought me into this world. Gotta give it up for Pops and Fat Mama. Yes, I think back to the values that they instilled inside of me, and I can see that it's lost a little bit. I see like it is gone. I look at all the sacrifices that my mother and father, that they did for us as a family to make sure that the family stayed together. My father passed up money. He could have went and worked somewhere else and it would have took him away from the family. But he chose to stay. He chose to stay and just be that strong father figure. My mom was always in the house, and she made sure that we had a beautiful home, even if we didn't have much. I'm talking about a single income family. The family where my father worked and my mother was a housewife, and that is a forgotten thing in nowadays because you got to have two incomes. Child care alone is so expensive just to raise one child. And you can't expect the grandparents to take over the parenting because they've already done their job. They put in that old-fashioned value. So where is the new old-fashioned? Is there even such a thing? Is there such a thing as the new old-fashioned values? Because we do a lot of complaining about what the government is doing with the money that we give them. Because, see, we say we pay taxes. Do we, cousins? Do we really pay taxes? Or do they take taxes? I mean, taxes are taken out and gone before you can see your share of the money. and you work hard for your paycheck, and that portion is gone. So if you have to feed the family and pay for the rent, the mortgage, transportation, food, everything else, and child care, what happens? It seems like the entertainment money, it is gone and it has dwindled down. So we wound up being our own entertainment a lot. Yeah, we didn't go to a lot of movies, and I remember only once or twice my father took us to the drive-in. Yeah, he took us to the drive-in, and I think the movie was The Dawn of the Dead. And we were watching that, and with, and Dad, and we were all out there in the car, and it was a great time, but it wasn't something like every weekend eating out, every weekend out going someplace, going to Disneyland. A lot of people love going to Disneyland. That's a beautiful thing if you have that disposable income. But the new old-fashioned values, I feel like what it can be is just getting back to just common sense. Love thy neighbor. We don't do that a lot. No, we don't. Because what we want to do is be able to just be self-contained. How many of you guys really, really know your neighbors? Are neighborhoods really filled with neighbors anymore? Or just occasional people that you may see and wave and say hi and bye. When I grew up, the neighborhood was like a village. Yes, I've seen the best of times and the worst of times, like the tale of two cities. Yes, inside of a neighborhood. But even in doing so, what we did inside our neighborhood, it was like the other parents had the right and the opportunity, the obligation to make sure that they kept us in line. And yes, we were still hard-headed little kids. Yeah, we were still hard-headed little kids. I remember we used to throw rocks, and we used to get out there and egg houses and get into all kind of devilment. But if you got caught, you had to pay the piper. That's not the thing anymore. Can you even approach a group of young folk today with a new old-fashioned value and try to correct them, try to provide them with some direction that they can go into a positive direction? Man, young kids nowadays, I think they have lost respect for their elders. And it's because I believe, and this is just my humble opinion, cousins, it's because that family value, that system that we had, it has dissolved. Where did it go? If you know where it went, drop a comment over there in the comment section. I would love to hear from you. And you can find me all over the place. And I want you to just tune in to any one of these stations in these streaming services and be able to check out Word to the Wise podcast and tell a friend. And once you get there, won't you like something, cousin? Yeah, won't you like and subscribe and get back with me on my main channel, and is at YouTube at The T Patrick. Approaching a group of young folks, I remember once I was at a Carl's Jr. And they had that place in a ruckus, man. They were a total disarray. They had taken all the furniture outside of the hamburger joint and put it outside on the patio, the walkway, the handicap walk up with the railing. They took the seats out. They took chairs. They took tables out and they put them outside. And I go in there and I go to order a hamburger, and I'm looking around, and it seems like the workers, they were afraid of what was going on. Didn't want to say anything. And I'm like, if these people don't want to say anything, should I say something? Because they were out there, and I'm talking about they were cussing like sailors. Not all young people behave like that. Can I say that right now, cousins, as a disclaimer? Not all young people behave like that. But that new old-fashioned value, can you get hurt by approaching a bunch of young folk and try to tell them, don't do that? Yeah, stop that. Put that down, you guys. Bring them chairs back in. Why are you speaking that way? I mean, there are many people who go and volunteer at the high schools. And I'm going to tell you, we need to start back at elementary and start there and volunteer and let them see that strong woman and that strong man and help out those who are trying to educate, because that's their job. It is not their job to raise the kids. But both parents are working. Both parents have to. You can barely make it on 2 incomes. Single income will put you at a disadvantage. I heard in the news and I read it, they said that the new benchmark for you to be not considered poor is $360,000 a year. $360,000. Everybody else below that is considered poor. So if the rich are looking at the mega rich and they are looking at the wealthiest people in the world and they consider us the poor, but it seems that they come for our money first. So our old-fashioned work values and work ethic, it is working for the rich. But are we? Do we have power? Do us, the people in society with this new old-fashioned value, do we have power? I'd like you to think about something. The last movie that I just checked up on was a movie where they spend hundreds of millions of dollars just to be able to make these movies. And Barbie was one that they won some awards, and with Ken out there singing, and everybody liked the Barbie movie. Some people hated it. Like, what did they do to Barbie? Barbie cost $160 million to make that movie. Why do they spend that? Because they know us with the less than 360,000, we're going to pay. They're going to recoup that. Yeah, so when they put that money up, they're betting that us as the American people are going to give them that $160 million back. Yes, and we will give them back, and they will make it back and have some revenue and some income and some excess to where they are winning. We just gave the money back to the rich people. Us poor folk did that. And that's just one movie. Yeah, it made over 200-something million dollars. And that's just in America. That's not worldwide. So if we got that kind of money to give to Barbie for what? Hour and a half, a 90-minute of entertainment, we would give $200 million as an American people. Why can't we do that to try to figure out how to get our neighborhoods back as a village, as a community? A lot of community programs are gone. I remember the old-fashioned values that was instilled in us, man. We played ping pong and we went to after-school programs. I used to be a Boy Scout, always be prepared. We also had the Boys Club and Girls Club of America. And there was the community center, the rec center, where you can go over there after school. They're gone. So where are the kids going after school? They're hanging out at Carl's Jr. They're hanging out at the 7-Elevens. You ever walk into a store and they got a sign up there, no backpacks allowed. No backpacks. Why? Because they're afraid the kids are going to come in and start stealing and act out with a rambunctious nature. Because why? They got rid of the lockers. They don't want to have lockers in high school. Carry your books in a bag and have your book on your back. And now they're carrying them with these heavy books and walking around. Got to tote them every day. Got to bring them home. Got no place else to put them. So everybody got a bag. We didn't have that. Left the books there and then only took the ones home that had homework. Those are gone. What about the after-school program? What about the extracurricular programs? Are they still there? No? Yeah, I'm talking about auto mechanics, home economics. Anybody remember home ec? Yes. And also the other programs that I liked was welding and wood shop. I loved welding and wood shop. And I also took a class in architecture. My high school, Palm Springs High, had a radio station. Yeah, KPSH 88.3 FM at the bottom of your radio dial. I love taking that radio class. These were extracurricular programs that we had that have been abolished. They're trying to do even worse than that. They want to get rid of public schools. They want everybody to pay. So if you got to have double income, because you can't afford child care, you got to pay that anyway. Some child care won't half your check. And if you have no place for the kids to go after school and you don't get out of work early enough because your job want to get that 40 hours, they're sick and tired of people working from home and they want people in there. They want you in traffic. They want you driving, getting that stress of the freeway, and they want to make sure that your kids have no place to go. It's all a setup. What happens when you got to start paying for school? Because, see, they already got a program set up to where they're going to provide $10,000 for those who qualify. And to qualify, you got to make a certain amount of money. And if you don't make a certain amount of money, you don't get it. So basically, they giving $10,000 bonus to the wealthy who could already afford it. They didn't need your $10,000. But they will get the funding and not those who are making like us and the majority of people. But somehow we still come up with extra money. Think about what I just said about Barbie. Yes, Barbie made all that money back. They put up the money and made that money back. How much would it take to educate every single child and feed every child in the world? Yeah, we're talking about something like $36 billion. 36 billion, that's a big number, man. It is astronomical when we start thinking about it, because we know the government, they see us as a piece of dirt, like a grain of sand, like an infinitesimal speck. Replaceable, numerous. Get rid of them and we'll get more. It's like grains of sand on the beach. What does one grain matter in a beach full of sand? That's how they view us as the American public, the people. And they say, okay, well, 36, we don't have that money for you. But we can fund many other things, can't we? Yeah, we could eradicate homelessness. But let's stick to just educating and feeding the children. 36 billion. How much money do you think we as American people spend on holidays? I'm going to tell you, we spend 40 billion on Halloween alone. And that's just for candy and costumes and decorations. And Halloween lasts about what, from sundown to people stop handing out candies around 9 or 9:30. So you're talking about 4 hours, 3 hours for a 3-hour celebration of what most people consider celebrating evil, celebrating All Hallows Eve. 40 billion we spend every year. And we could spend that 1 year and educate every child. We come up with that money and we give it to the rich. We as the poor. And that's just Halloween. Christmas is way, way more. The money that we spend to celebrate with gifts and shopping and presents and bows and wrapping, and the money that we spend on trees to be able to put inside our house, decorations for our lawn and Christmas lights, and not to even mention all the money that we spend on Christmas dinner and all of these things to celebrate one day when that same amount of money could feed every child. And there are some nations where people are living off of $2.14. a day. That's extreme poverty. But we in America, we pay taxes and they take it before we even see a single dime of our own money. And now that we are asking, why can't we get that money back? They want to slow down tax returns. They want to make sure that us as the people, we don't get what we already paid in. They want to see you working to the age of 70. They want to see, cousins, that you will not be able to retire. They want to go after Social Security. That's supposed to be protected because that is not something that's for their spending. They took it and they may squander it, and now they're just talking about just snatching it off from under you. Work to 70. Work until you're old and have no Medicare, no Social Security all the time while we're supporting movies, holidays. When we have the power, we as a nation, we have the power to get back to that new old-fashioned value. It takes a village. And the community can do it for ourselves. We can set up our own community funds. We can do it. We can, if we had that same mentality that our forefathers had, that we all just seem to come together, but we keep coming up with new things that can divide us, new things that can keep us separated. We just tear ourselves apart until we all standing out there so low. Come on, cousins, help me out, somebody. If you know I'm telling the truth, if you can't say amen, then just say ouch. We out here swinging by ourselves. We have forsaken the community mentality. When all we got to do is stand up. There's a day that is coming up, February the 28th, 2025. The day where it's a movement, don't spend a dime, on February 28th. And we'll see the power of the American working man, working woman, the income of a family. We'll see the power of our dollar. I suggest you participate in that. Don't spend a dime on February 28th. Not unless you got to go get your medicine or something that's going to keep you alive. Don't do that. If you got to get your medication, yes, by all means, do that. But if you can do it the day before, do it. Don't procrastinate. February 28th, because we're going to see how much money gets spent on this coming up Friday. Yes, today is Wednesday's cousins, but Friday, Valentine's Day. How much do we spend on candy, and flowers, and hearts, and diamonds, and rubies, and pearls, and oh my goodness, the restaurant industry. How long will be the lines just to have a seat, just to rekindle the romance and be with your loved one, be with your spouse or your partner, be with your husband or your wife and celebrate Valentine's Day. That's something that is just man-made and conjured up. It's another marketing to where they can get the money and we will give it to the rich. What it is, you know what it's called, cousins? Reverse Robin Hood. Have you ever heard that terminology of reverse Robin Hood? Think about it. Steal from the poor and give it to the rich. We steal from the poor, we give it to the rich, and we also want to make sure that they have what they need so they can continue their lifestyle. What about us? What are we afraid of? It takes messages like this one right here on Word to the Wise. And I would love for you guys to be able to become a first cousin. Because I want to continue giving these messages to you. But I'm telling you, we are under attack. And if I got to be the voice crying out in the wilderness, I will. So there is no love gift that is too small and nothing is too big, and it's all going to a great cause. I want to be able to help one person. And Lord Father, if I've helped one person already, then just give me one more. Just give me one more, cousin. Yeah, I want to be that man that you can say, you know what? I thought about something because I heard something. Terry Patrick once said that what we are doing is reverse Robin Hood. And guess what? I ain't lying. No, if I'm lying, I'm dying. I'm giving it to you how you should get it. I'm going to give it to you how you should want it. I'm going to give you the real, all right? Because I'm out here swinging like Tarzan. It's a jungle, baby, so I got to swing. And I got your back like vertebrae, but I'm trying to let you know that we are not alone. No, we are not. We are not alone. We are standing strong, and we can do that right here, right now on Word to the Wise. Every single Wednesday, we can do that for you. But all you got to do is just tune in and tell a friend. Yeah, like, share, comment, subscribe, do all those things, or do none of it. It's okay, because I'm going to be all right anyway. Yes, and if ain't nobody told you that they love you and they believe in you, I want you to know that I love you, and I'm here for you, and I'm going to keep doing what I got to do because, hey, I ain't got no choice. I got to do what God made me do.
I hope you like the podcast and you really like the podcast.
Come on, be serious.
And you really like my podcast.